Chase Tiger with the blue futon out of the theaters. Yes, screw you, HBO Max. I am not supporting that service at all. So I actually went to see Saw. Anyway, The Little Things in theaters. How did I like it? Did I enjoy it? Did you watch my first reaction? Let's find out. So The Little Things, what's it about? Well, let's just say it's a story you've seen a lot. You've seen it a lot. Because John Hancock, the person who written and directed this movie, apparently wrote the script 30 years ago. So when you take that into account, that's like 89, 2000, 1990, 89, yeah. The year I was born, 89, 1990. Was I born in 89? Yes, I was. Oh, God. I'm getting old. It's scary. Anyway, old cop, new cop, who done it? That's all I really need to know. Denzel Washington, new cop. Rami Malek, new cop. Did I say that right? Denzel Washington's the old cop. That's correct. Rami Malek, the new cop. That's correct. And Jared Leto is the one who, is he the killer or not? Which, little did I know, he actually got a nomination for Golden Globe for this movie. Crazy, right? So what I like about this film, I enjoyed the acting. I enjoy the premise. I enjoy these type of stories. I do enjoy these whodunit. Is it the person who did it? Is that, is he, I don't think so. Ooh, do you think he is? I don't think he is, but do you think he is? But with this story, it fell flat for me as a whole. Even though I enjoyed Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, Jared Leto, I enjoyed the atmosphere of this story. I enjoyed the kind of the twists and turns that kind of go with it. The whole car scene with Jared Leto going around the exits, stuff like that is cool and fun to watch. And what Jared Leto does to some of these characters, it is enjoyable to see it flesh out. But you've seen it 1,000 times before, and the comparisons to other movies just doesn't feel right. People are comparing this to Seven. Do not listen to those people that are compared to Seven. It has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with any premise of Seven. There are some things in this movie that do some flashbacks of what Denzel Washington did in the past, what Rami Malek's done in the past, other stuff like that, where you kind of get to where they're at today, where they've gone throughout the years, and you go, okay, I kind of appreciate some of the storylines, especially this Denzel Washington one, with something on a keychain, and you're like, where's this going? And then it finally shows up in the, at the end of the movie, you go, oh, so that's what it's coming from. But when you rethink about it coming back to you of like why it got there, it makes sense of where this character's going, but you're just like, wow. It's, so it makes you think, is this story even valid? Is the whole movie valid? So I kind of appreciate that, but then I kind of don't at the same time, because even though there's that storyline with the keychain, there's a storyline with something on some person's head. And that's the very end of the story where he's saying, is this movie valid? That is what I'm going to say. Is this a valid movie? It is so much like a 50-50 movie for me of like, I enjoyed what I was doing. I enjoyed the acting. I enjoyed watching it, but I've seen it 1,000 times before, and there was nothing new on this screen. Also, it's going to sound weird, but I was expecting, because everyone was saying, oh, it's like Seven. Like I said, do not compare this to Seven. I was expecting something more grisly and something more just horrifying. Yeah, there was a horrifying scene about seeing one person get murdered, and then going back to Denzel Washington, connecting the dots. Is this the same killer? But it just felt flat. I didn't get to know the victims, really. Like, you see them in flashbacks of, like, oh, that person went on a jog. Are they coming back? Oh, that person might have known that person, of, like, letting them in the door. But you don't get any flashback of these victims. And even though you see these victims, you're just like, am I supposed to... I know that sounds awful, but when you have a victim and the cops and the killers, you want to have a connection of knowing these victims, knowing the cops, knowing the bad guy of, are we going to get justice? And you kind of just don't, and you're just like, blah. But I enjoyed watching it as a whole. I know a lot of people are expecting, like, to the moon stuff with this movie. But knowing that it's an old script and WB still put it out there to get these actors to do it, I applaud them for sticking it. Even though WB apparently screwed a lot of directors and actors over with the whole HBO Max deal. But there's that. So The Little Things, overall, you know where I'm going with this, don't you? The Little Things will receive a 3 out of 5 with Futon. It goes at 60%. So see the critics' news scores gave this one. You have the critics of 46% with 198 of them, and the audience score is 64% with over 250. I don't like how Rotten Tomatoes does this new thing now. It just says 250 plus. What is this shit? Interesting. Look what they do now. I'll just show you this before I show you how it does that whole thing. And then it goes to that. So anyway, the critic consensus, there's the light, is an exceptionally well-casted throwback thriller. The Little Things will feel deeply familiar to genre fans, for better and for worse. I mean, that's a pretty basic consensus that works for this movie. So do you agree with my 60%? That's 64, the 46. Chase after the Blue Futon, like, comment, subscribe. One of the things, Butantopia, you Butonians. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. I think 6 more subscribers, and we get to another Steelbook giveaway. Even though there's not a lot of Steelbooks out there anymore, I know Do the Right Thing had a new one coming out. Godzilla has one coming out, and Dread. So I'm going to get Dread and Godzilla for sure.